All right, guys. Sunday morning. It's about 12 noon. Figured I had to come on here on my YouTube channel to clear up a couple of things that's been going on in the world. The world is a tense place right now, guys. Everybody's worried about World War III after what Trump and Zelensky were going through in that conversation that they had in front of the entire world. I'll let you know my feelings on that in a couple of minutes. But we're at a time period where for 4 years, there's been a lot of people that were angry about what's going on in this world. I guess a lot of the people that were super pissed were most of the people that felt like their country was being handed over to migrants. Our country was being handed over to the less fortunate. I guess these people thought that their taxes were too high. I guess everybody thought that eggs were too expensive. As a whole, the last 4 years of the Biden administration, I feel personally has set this country back years. And what I mean by that is we went from a very, very strong nation back in the day. I'm talking like, 80s, 70s, even the 90s. We were looked at as America. We're tough. We're top dogs in this world. But slowly but surely, the toughness has been trickling out of this country. I don't know what it is. I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago with some of the kids, and I told them that I think maybe that it's in the food, maybe that the government is putting stuff in the food. I don't know. Nothing's really out of the realm of possibility. But I do think something is going on. Now, at this point in time right now, there's a serious, serious divide. For 4 years, there was a side of this country that was extremely happy. Everybody was getting what they wanted. Nobody's feelings were being hurt. When somebody's feelings were hurt, you just push that button and the siren would come and you'd be in trouble. You'd lose your job. People are getting jobs because of their people misconstrue them as maybe disabilities or because of their sexual orientation, because maybe they're the first transgender person to hold the position. Everybody out there, the last 4 years, that mattered to a lot of businesses. Now, again, I'm going to go into a bunch of stuff that's going on with Doge and the initial firings and stuff. But if you really want to look and get into it, it's almost like we were kind of allowing people to get by because they had certain aspects of their life that people deemed maybe they were incapable of doing it on their own. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying that, you know what? Maybe there are a couple here and there. But for me to even say that and come on a live broadcast and say that is going to rub people the wrong way. What I mean by that is I can make a simple statement like that and say, I feel that a lot of the DEI stuff that's been going on in the government and all jobs, it's even going on in the fire department, the police department, it goes on in my job, it goes on in jobs all across the country because they had to be done. Now, in order for me to say that, I could be misconstrued as being a very bad person for saying that. How dare you? How dare I what? Now let's really sit down and talk about a lot of this stuff now, okay? President Trump is president now. President Biden was president the last 4 years. Now, what happened in the last 4 years was everybody be nice to everybody. Okay. Everybody's used to that vernacular. Everybody's used to everybody saying, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Now, President Trump gets into office. It's a complete opposite. It's a complete different mindset, a complete different male mindset. What I mean that is you got the alphas, you got the betas, you got everything in between. I feel that Joe Biden was made into a beta by a bunch of beta males who are getting paid for a lot of this stuff. Then you got Trump coming in with that alpha sigma mentality, pushing everybody around. And everybody was like, oh, he's mean. Yes, he's mean. Yes, he might be a narcissist. I'm pretty sure he's a narcissist. But I'm also pretty sure that he's tough. I'm also pretty sure that one of the main things, one of the main narratives that a narcissist carries with them is the ability to win at all costs. It doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter what they say. I feel that Donald Trump is coming into this with a full head of steam to completely change this country. Millions and millions of people voted for Donald Trump, and millions of people voted for a change, not the change that Obama said he was going to bring back in '08. Wanted a change that we wanted our country back. We wanted to stop giving money to all these other countries. We wanted to stop letting the migrants in. We wanted to stop a whole bunch of stuff that was going on right underneath our eyes that nobody was doing anything about. In that, we created a lot of division. Now, when I say division among people on social media or what, it doesn't matter because that's what social media is there for. Social media is there to stir up a hornet's nest of opinions. And those hornet's nests of opinions creates a lot of division because everybody wants to be right and nobody wants to be wrong. When at the end of the day, they're all opinions because we're hearing stuff. Now, somebody had said on one of my posts on TikTok, I'll go into that in a minute because I'm about to speak to somebody briefly, Lisa Priest, who has a pretty interesting story. But for a 20-second video that was put on TikTok, people looked at me and they made a decision about my character. Now, between me and you, all that stuff that people were saying and stuff, that's really, you're wasting it on somebody like me. You're wasting it on somebody like me because none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters in a macrocosm of what's going on in the entire world because I said something, you didn't like it, and that's it. So I could take all that. You know what? And that's probably why, and that's why I do leave off all the comments because I feel that I'm kind of impenetrable when it comes to that because I seem to be able to, I don't know what they call it, like a duck, let stuff just roll off you because, it's their words, at the end of the day. So maybe sometimes I might say stuff that could be misconstrued as, I guess, me, maybe, or something like that. But at the end of the day, I just want what's right for myself and I want what's right for my family. And at the end of the day, that is the thing that matters. So who I voted for this year should not have any kind of bearing on me and you having a conversation outside of politics. Now, along the way of this couple of years, I've kind of lost three, I guess, friends, I guess you could call them. I don't know. Three of them I know a very long time, right? And all three of them have written me off, I guess. One ripped into me about the migrant situation, and the other ripped into me when I posted a picture of Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, congratulating them and letting them know that that's the reason why I voted for Trump. So both people have kind of written me off in their life. As a matter of fact, they've said some words that to me doesn't matter, but I couldn't believe it. I simply tried to respond back to one of these people saying, "Can we just go back to liking pictures of our kids?" And because that's what we used to do, instead of politics, we would just like pictures of our children. And he took that as an insult, told me to go fuck off, and kind of blocked me. All right, but that's fine. That's fine. That's this person I haven't seen in a really long time. The other person I haven't seen in a really long time. The other person is just kind of, it's weird. I just don't understand why this person is not contacting me at all about something. Maybe he's just kind of embarrassed of my thinking. But I don't know. I just wish this because they're part of a community. There's two of them that are part of the homosexual community. Okay. Now, the comments that I made were kind of directed in more of like the transgender community because that's something just in my brain. And again, what I'm saying right now could be misconstrued as being hurtful or hate speech or something. But in the end of the day, I just don't understand it. Now, in this day and age, I cannot be for homosexual rights and be against the transgender community for what they want as far as rights because I have to lump the two of them together because I am very sympathetic. I do believe in rights for homosexuals, gays, lesbians. I am for those rights. I'm for your rights to get married. I'm for your rights to have children. I'm for your rights to health care. I'm for every single right that you deserve as a human being. That is, I'll stand on that and I'll put my foot down till the day I die. I think that that is something that is born. You're born with it. It's rough. It's a psychological fight within your brain. And the only reason that there's a psychological thing in a conversation in your brain is because society deems it as not right. The Bible said it's not right. Somebody said it's not right. But at the end of the day, who are you and anybody else in this world to tell you what you want to do with your own body as far as being homosexual? Because It was explained to me by a very dear friend of mine who doesn't speak to me anymore in such layman's terms about 25 years ago. He looked me dead in the eyes and just said simply, "Rich, do you know how you feel about women?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I feel that way about men." And that just clicked instantaneously. And it's that simple. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I just don't understand the whole aspect of transgender. Now, in your head, maybe you think that you're male or female, you wrestle with it your whole life, you don't feel comfortable. That is just kind of like a psychology aspect of it too. But when you start lumping people in to them changing the biology of their body, now that's just something that if you have a child that plays with dolls, or just you feel that, at a certain age, he's very young, 10, 11, 12, he doesn't feel comfortable in his body. He wants to change his gender. And in the day, it is gender, guys. It's male and female. You're born with certain parts, and there's certain things in your body that make you predominantly male and predominantly female. It's testosterone and estrogen. Unless you take all of that out of both of our bodies and just completely switch up our anatomy and switch up what we're made of, you're a male or you're a female. The whole process of changing that because you don't feel comfortable is fine. I'm for those rights as well. I don't think that I think you have the right to do that when you're over 18. Parents with children under the age of 18, personally, my values, I think you're making a serious mistake by switching up the gender and the biology of your child. It's something that they can make a choice on their own when they get to a certain age. And, if it's that bad, then they can go through it. So that being said, I got told by somebody in one of my posts on TikTok, why am I getting on my hill about this transgender issue in sports? There's a lot of people in this country that don't understand sports. There's a ton of people in this country that do understand sports. There's a ton of people in this country that their kids aren't athletically inclined, so they don't play athletes. They do something else. They won't be affected. There's also athletes in this country that compete at a high level, and these men and women go to college. Truth be told, I know everybody knows the story about Riley Gaines, and I know I bring her name up, and everybody thinks they're sick of her, and tell her to just shut up. But at the end of the day, she's right. She raced against a swimmer, Leah Thomas, who was 154th in the NCAA standings, decides that she's going to compete or he is going to compete against women. Now, a lot of these races, guys, weren't even close. So I am kind of talking about a biological strength, or I'm going to say two things. And again, might be misconstrued as me being, saying something out of pocket, but men are stronger physically than women. We have the testosterone. It's just within us. We're made up differently. We fight. We're physical, and we do all the hard jobs, meaning physical jobs, not all the hard other jobs, but the hard physical jobs. We're cops. We're firemen. We're construction workers. We build the world. We protect the world. We put out fires and anything else that a man does because of his physical nature. That is what men do. Women, you are smarter than us. You're more nurturing than us. You care more about us. You think your thought process is different than ours. So the only thing you guys have, we have the physical aspect of it. And in sports, that physical aspect carries on into the world of somebody raising a daughter, going for a scholarship, becoming the best swimmer, track athlete, you pick your sport in the world. And here comes somebody that decided that they weren't good enough to compete against men. So they're going to use I have to you word this I have to word this thing very not very easily. People's mental capacity to not be able to compete and lose because they feel that it's not fair are going to switch and now compete against women, knowing all well they're biological males. Now, you don't get hurt in track. You don't get hurt in other sports that don't have a one-on-one advantage. But if you're boxing, if you're wrestling, softball, it starts, no one does anything about it. And I understand somebody wrote and said that there's 12 people in the entire country that this is affecting. Well, that's 12 too many. Softball, you're a softball player. What's going to happen when these games start getting to a point where they're recruiting transgender male pitchers and you have to hit a 95-mile-an-hour curved softball? It's just a physical advantage, guys. As far as them doing it, I don't have a problem with it. But as far as them thinking that they're going to take their disadvantage and run with it and feel that they need to be given special rights because of this, they're completely wrong. And anybody that feels that I'm a bad person for saying that because I was told that I'm the actual devil for feeling that, I just feel that physical, biological stuff is got to be taken into consideration when it comes to these transgender athletes. And that's the last thing I'm really going to say about this. And I hope I got my point across, because we're in a time right now where there's stuff like that that divides us from our family, that divides us from our friends. If you're out there and you're contemplating on whether still being friends or still contacting your brother or your mother or your sister because they voted for Trump and you didn't, I would take a long, hard look at yourself and realize how weak-minded you are, that you're allowing the entire country, the media, and all the political surroundings tell you that because my spouse, even because my friend, because my this feels a certain way, I'm not going to talk to them. Take a serious look at yourself and wonder, am I surrounding myself with the right people? Because political views, at the end of the day, they really don't matter, because my political views, the stuff that I keep up here, is not going to be the same views that you keep up here. And the stuff that I don't really find that it's going to affect me too much, but I'm still like, okay, and it really affects you. You have no right to look at me and tell me that I voted against you as a person and you from your values, and I voted for somebody that was going to put you in jail, or that was going to murder you, or was going to murder you and your children, or was going to come for somebody who the only reason that I'm not a privileged white male, rich privileged white male, good luck choosing sides. That has to stop. And you guys need to shut your mouths, take what you did and put it on your family, because you voted. That's the right thing for your family. I voted. That's the right thing for my family. I was tired of the migrants coming into this country. I'm tired of giving everybody a trophy in this country. I am also super pro-choice. I am also, like I said before, I am for lesbian and gay marriage. If you guys want to actually come on and have a conversation with me, you super left liberal people, and want to ask me specific questions and break down how I feel politically, you're going to find that I might even be more left-leaning than right. You know what that does? That just takes a conversation, everybody. And it's what people are not willing to have. 4 years Biden was president. 4. And I never once said to somebody, I'm never talking to you again because you voted for a man who's against my rights or against my this. Never in a million years would that happen. But for some reason, when Trump is here now, and Trump's mean and Trump's a bully, that's what I'm getting. You know what? He's here. And you know what that means? All you people out there that were afraid that nobody was going to say anything to you, nobody was going to tell you to shut up and get your ass to work on merit. Nobody was going to say to you, get up off your ass and do something. He's here, guys. I may not like everything that's going to happen coming down the road. I may have a problem with some of these issues, maybe some of these executive orders. I may have a problem with some of that. I may have a problem. I don't fully understand this $5 million card. It was explained to me on one side, but I don't fully understand it. But I can tell you one thing, this $5 million gold card, as Trump calls it, sounds like a good plan to me. They're going to be vetted. If somebody out there would like to explain to me what the vetting process is, I'd like to know. Hope it's a stringent vetting process, but on a monthly basis, there was 35,000 people coming into this country. And when they got here, we as the American people paid for that. We gave them debit cards. We gave them insurance. We gave them free places to stay. And that all came out of our pocket, guys. All of it. Trump's starting to get something going where people are going to pay $5 million to get this gold card. It's $5 million. Russian oligarchs, I know they mentioned yesterday, this, that, $5 million. They're trying to bring our debt down, guys. They're trying to bring our debt down, not let criminals in. Are some of these guys criminals? I don't know. That's why I'd like to know what the vetting process is. It's very similar to this other program that they have where people are paying $800,000 to come into this country. The right way, not sneaking in and having us as the taxpayers paying for this. So that is something that on my list of stuff that I found very important and close to my heart was that people coming into this country, taking our benefits and taking our jobs, guys. I mean, think about it. Construction workers out there, guys. Union construction is really not that busy right now. Okay. Supposed to take a turn. But I look around this New York City, all I see is people working on these construction sites that are non-union, by the way, that have real questionable alien status. But you know what, though? We were just told we got to shut up and let it happen. Mayor Adams is losing his shit right now in New York City. He doesn't even know what he stands for anymore. He was in the middle of that migrant situation. Oh, I got to be sympathetic to him. Oh, there's too much. We need more money. Mayor Adams out there calling everybody, you Negroes want me to step down. He's losing his mind. This whole world is losing its mind. Everybody's choosing a side. And unfortunately, the side that has to be chosen is the side of safety. The side of the people that are going to walk into an office and do to Zelensky what Trump did. I'm not even going to say anything about J.D. Vance. As much as people are out there saying that J.D. Vance is a very good speaker, he sounded like a baby. He sounded like a pussy. And if anybody at the end of the day thinks that Zelensky was afraid of Trump or Vance in one part of that interview, you guys definitely have another thing coming, because he comes from a country that's a war-torn country. And when he said to Trump, you guys are going to know what it's like when your beautiful ocean is surrounded by boats or war comes to this land, that's when Trump got mad. That's when Trump turned around and started lacing into him and calling him all sorts of names, telling him that he doesn't have the cards. And he just like, we're not playing cards. He knows that we're not playing cards. He wants war. He wants to destroy Russia. And I don't know if Trump really conveyed his message correctly, but all you hear is the way it's said. And the way it was said was a way is, you better stop fucking around or we are going to kick your ass. Not, please, sir, please stop what you're doing or we are going to just give you more money and more money. No, Trump said, look, I want peace. And if you guys don't believe that because of the way it was said, that at the end of the day is what he wants. He put Tulsi Gabbard in charge of the Department of National Intelligence. Now, Tulsi Gabbard's one of her main stance, get out of foreign wars. Zelensky wants all this money from Trump and all of us for weapons. No, I don't know what's going to happen with Russia. Russia may do a little sneak attack, but from our perspective, no, get the hell out of there. And if Europe wants to take care of them, let them take care of them. Okay? Because we got stuff going on here. We need troops here. We need our country to be taken care of here. So this $5 million gold, card Doge thing, maybe it is a good thing. They're talking about 200,000 people, $1 trillion. A lot of money to put down on the debt. Doge coming in. As far as people getting fired, okay? As far as people getting fired because they're not answering emails. A lot of people are out there putting out videos saying it's easy. Boom, this is what I do. That's it. Other people saying, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. I don't know what to believe because you hear news from one side, you news from the other. All I know is if I got an email from my boss saying, what did you do this week? I would tell him that I got to work at 7 a.m. I helped in building Harlem Hospital, which is where I am right now. And I took lunch at this time and I went home at this time. That's it. I have a pulse, 2 neurons and a pulse. Thank you. That's it. That's all you had to do. You just had to say, I'm here. So stop complaining about the email shit because you guys have been working for the government for years and years and years. And now is the time you're going to complain about answering an email. And if anybody says that they work for the government and they don't have email or they don't know, that means you're dead. You don't have a job that you were fired from a long time ago. And for some reason, you're still getting paychecks. There's got to be a reason. Just justify what you're doing. That's it. Just say, I'm here. Okay. These are to all those government employees. IRS, go fuck yourself. The fact that you are telling us right now that our refunds might be upheld because of what's going on. You've been poking around in our business trying to suck our country dry of money for years and years and years, and you guys think you're untouchable. Well, that time is up. Doge is here, and wait till they get into your files because you guys think you're untouchable. You're next. And I have no problem with people like Elon Musk up there talking about how we're going to expose fraud, get rid of waste. So if you've had a job that you've been spending your whole summer at the beach, or you've been vacationing for 300 of 365 days a year, but you're still getting paychecks, justify your job or you're fired. I'm sorry. That's the way this country is working right now. Okay. We got a guy in there that doesn't speak nicely, and that's okay. Listen to what he's saying. There is actually people in New York City like Alexandra Ocasio. She's in New York City right now, actually telling migrants that are here illegally to hide when people come, not giving information. We're Americans against Americans at this point, America. Americans against America. You hear that, America? It's not that we don't care about what's going on in other places. It's not that we don't have empathy or sympathy. We have to get back to being the strongest nation in the world so we can have empathy and sympathy and help. But when our whole country is not behind us, when our whole country doesn't back us just because of the way we voted, how about we all get together in the middle and discuss what we dislike and what we don't like? We're still going to fight, but at the end of the day, we're still Americans, and we have to figure out what is going on here before we even attempt to figure out what's going on there. And as far as you people talk about Zelensky, Zelensky grew up where bombs are. People, I don't know what Zelensky's story is. I know he's the president right now. I know he was elected. But if you look at that country and you look at those people in that country, the military, the mothers, the fathers, the grandfathers, the children, that is a country right there that has been used to waking up in the morning and just hearing bombs go off. Their grandmothers were used to that, their grandfathers, their parents. It's a war-torn country. Zelensky doesn't know to come into the Oval Office. That doesn't happen in America, guys. We don't wake up to bombs. We don't wake up to fear of the government coming into our house and taking our children. We don't live in that fear. We live in America. We live in a place where we're supposed to be free. Supposed to be free to say what we want, not do what we want, but say what we want. But let's get together as a nation and just start helping each other. Because this way right now, the counterproductive bullshit that's going on just because somebody voted for Trump and somebody didn't, how about we get together and we vote for what's right? And at the end of the day, my whole thing about the Title IX, the transgender issue I was talking to earlier, it's a humanistic issue. It's just right. So that's how I feel about the landscape of the country today and what's going on. And I voted for Trump, guys. And I love what he's doing right now. And I know it's coming. I know it's going to be something that he does. And I'll be like, yo, what the fuck you doing, dude? But I'm also going to turn around and say, this is who I voted for. And this has to happen. The other way wasn't working. This way, right now, is working. So America, get off your asses, stop complaining, and let's do something. Let's get together. And this whole thing right now, to a lot of people, is going to look at a rant to one side. It's not a rant to one side. I want everybody to get along, and I want everybody to become American. You think you're going to have a comment on Trump naming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America? You think that's a big deal? How big of a deal do you think that is in a grand scheme of things, where you think that, oh, this guy's just doing it just because he can? Stop. Because he's just going to start doing more little narcissistic bullshit things that I really don't think matter, but that's how he is. And he's getting shit done. And Elon Musk is going to go down in history as saving the United States economy. And if you don't like it, then I hate to say it, then get the hell out. Because the person I was talking to in my monologue before told me he was getting the hell out. Okay? That's fine. You know what? Because you have enough money to get out. A lot of these people could get up on their soapbox like you, and you know who I'm talking about. You could get on your soapbox and point fingers at me. And you could point fingers at everybody else in this country and call them uneducated, call them scum, call them pieces of shit because of you, because of your opinions. You move and you go. Because you know why? You can. You're rich. You have the money to do it. What about all the other people that are in this country that feel like you do, that aren't as fortunate? So again, Take your selfish self, pack everything up, like you said, to leave the country and leave all that behind. Because all your bullshit, it's all doesn't matter because you're gone, because you can. And there's people in this country that can't. So let's start helping everybody. All right, guys, that's how I feel. I got a lot of other things that I could discuss, and I'm going to come on again this week. I'm going to make this a weekly thing, but I had to get it out there about some of these issues that I've been getting hit with about the fact that I feel a certain way, or I'm a piece of shit for this, or I'm a piece of shit for that. I don't care. I know at the end of the day that what I stand on is right for me. I don't care. And it's going to sound very unsympathetic, but I don't care what's right for you at this moment. I care what's right for me. Is everybody listening? Because that's how everybody should look at it. Maybe a Democrat would have came around that wasn't for the whole insane left craziness that completely tore our country to shreds. Maybe there was a person there that have a level head and say, let's meet in the middle. Well, there's two of them that are on Trump's cabinet right now that left the Democratic Party because you people are crazy. Kennedy and Tulsi. Those are two people right now that are changing this country on a daily basis. And if you don't like it, you guys need to go. Let's trust people in office for once. Let's trust what's going on and let people get together. Just be nice to each other. Because all the people out there that supposedly were so nice for all these years, that were so meant for all these people's rights, you cling yourself on to the weakest ones because you think you're going to be a hero. How about you shut the hell up and vote for you actually feel? How about you be honest with yourself and vote with your own brain and not what the media tells you to do? So that's how I feel, guys. So I'm going to put this out as a podcast. Right now it's live, but I'm going to put it out as a podcast later on, and I'm going to be coming back to you with a couple of more feelings that I got, because I got an email from some woman in Maine. Her name is Lisa Priest, and I just tried calling her, but her number didn't go through. But she wants to talk to me about the state of Maine has actually murdered her husband. She's got a very interesting story. I'm going to try and contact her, and hopefully in the coming weeks, I'm going to get an interview with her. So, all right, guys, this is Murph from Keep Talking 365, and hope you guys have a good Sunday, and I'll talk to you later.